May profits be upon you. Welcome to another weekly Forex forecast. We're looking at the US dollar index. Dixie. All right. Now, we're looking at the monthly time frame. We're going to break it down from here, right? What do we got? Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, a potential higher low. Am I looking for this? Well, I'm not. I'm not going to say that's what I'm expecting. But when you got a higher high, higher low situation, yeah, that is the natural expectation. That I have a trend line up here, right? That that I don't trade from. I don't plan my trades from it, right? Imagine if I planned to buy from here, all right? It wouldn't have worked out. I wouldn't have got tagged in. No, this is just to mark structure. All right. We got some contacts here. We got some contact here. I could have drew the line from here and hit these bottoms. It would have worked out, but then this would have been out. Yeah, that's why I don't use trend lines for trading. I use trend lines to mark structure. And what we have here is an uptrend on the higher time frames. Now, if we go to the weekly, we start to hone in on these weekly candles, we can see that we've been in a downtrend, right? But we came down to the trend line. What do you call the support line of this trend, right? And you see price pushed up. We came back through. We took the liquidity from that low, swept that the sell side liquidity, and pushed up higher. Now you can see that we traveled sideways for a good while until we started to see some bullish push. All right. Uh, so you could still say, yeah, we are bearish neutral. All right, neutral because we are moving to the side, but we've been the order flow on a weekly basis has been bearish, but we're starting to base out here. All right. And but it still hasn't been determined whether we have turned bullish or bearish yet. We need a break of market structure, and we are heading towards that break of market structure here. Let's go to the weekly, the daily. And what do we see? Let's get in uh, a little closer here. Now, what I've marked out was when we originally hit this low, price pushed up, making higher, 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 low. We took this high. I said, oh, we got a bullish internal break of market structure. Now, I say internal because we are still inside of a bearish leg. All right. This is internal stuff that's going on until we break this high. All that happens within this leg of structure is internal. Got it? I hope you do. In either case, we have an internal break of market structure. We look for, uh, while price is up here, we look for price to come back here in this area of fair value we look for price to come back and find support for higher prices. Well, price decided to move neutrally to the side. All right. And we did a lot of accumulation, but price did take out the low, take out this low. We took the sell side liquidity. Sorry, we took the sell side liquidity in this move here, and a lot of people were thinking, "Oh, we're crashing through. Price is going to come back up. Use the trend line uh, uh, support as resistance now, and that we would continue down." Now, I didn't believe that at all. I believed that price would find its way up. I said, if we cross this line, yes, we did. We crossed that line. That is the change in the state of delivery. And price moved up from there. We pulled back and then again moved higher above the consolidation here. I'd like to see that. Now, what is the next target? I think the next target, the next buy side liquidity target is higher. All right. you can see here that we took out this old uh, bearish fair value gap here. All right, but the close here above the 50% of this bearish fair value gap is telling. Even though we pulled back from it, yeah, we had 1, 2, 3 days of bearish pullback. But what did we pull back into? This area of fair value. Now, that this area of fair value, which failed over here when it was over here, it failed over here ultimately. But look how long it took to fail. Look how many weeks. Look how many months. All right. Look at this took a while before it came down, and then it decided to go higher, and it took out the liquidity. It took out that old high for the fair value gap area over here, revisited it over on this side, took out the liquidity high here, and we pulled back into this bullish fair value gap here. Do I think this will hold? Well, there is a gap to fill here, but I'm not looking at that gap as it may act as bullish or bearish, because some gaps don't get any reaction. Look at this gap here. All right, when price came back to it over here, what did it do? It fired right through it like it was nothing. All right, like it was meaningless. You can't get overexcited about gaps, volume imbalances. All right, but what I like is that we on Friday we finally start to see that turnaround. I'm looking at this fair value gap area, this area of fair value as an area that price would find support for higher prices, so we can take out the buy side liquidity here. If we go down to the the 4 hour. I'm sorry, we got a little delay there. Okay, now again, what happened here? We went up into that fair value gap. All right, the old fair value gap, and I believe it would be used as a speed bump. Where price would react to it, but then ultimately come back and take it over. We're going to find out. But this looks like a failed swing, a failed swing high. It didn't take out the previous swing high, and we have a pullback. Now, is the pullback over? I like to say when there's a pullback in these kind of situations where we have a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, all of these are pullbacks. All right. And in those pullbacks, you want to see where it's going to end. And where it usually ends is when there is a break of market structure, when there is a market shift. All right. There's a shift from bearish to bullish. We haven't gotten that yet. That'll happen here. We get that shift there, then I'm definitely all looking to buy the US dollar, which would mean I would be looking at the pairs, the major pairs, as Euro USD, Pound USD, Aussie Dollar USD, New Zealand Dollar USD. I'm looking at all of those for lower prices. Got it? Because the US dollar is going to drag that its counterpart down, because it's going to be moving strong. You understand? If the U.S. dollar is strong, the euro is going to, suffer for it. Got it? So we have pulled down into this area of fair value. This is a demand zone for all intents and purposes. We'll come down into it. I'm looking for price to trade above these highs here. I'm going to mark this high as my target for the week. For this week coming up, it won't be my weekly target. My weekly target will be here. These highs up here. Yes. So that's where I'm at. Doggone it. What did I do? All right. So I'm going back to the daily, and you can see where my targets are. All right. Now, I want you to take a close look at something. See this here? This is a bearish fair value gap. That's a daily bearish fair value gap. Now we've already come to this one, and it looks like where you want to see price repel from it, be rejected from a bearish fair value gap before it gets past the halfway point. This one went well past the halfway point. All right, we're in the last quadrant, the last quarter of it, 25% of it. So I'm liking this to fail if price comes back up this way. You understand? These are relative equal highs. You get what I'm saying? That's going to be a nice draw on liquidity. And I'm looking for this pullback into this bullish leg to end. And the only way it's going to end is if we get price to break this high, trade through it, pull back, react or whatever, and then complete the failure of that bearish fair value gap. Then we can use it as support for higher prices. You understand? I want to see price trade through this bearish fair value. That's what I want to see. All right. Doesn't mean I'm going to see it. Doesn't mean I'm going to jump ahead and say, oh, well, I'm just going to assume that it's going to happen. No, that's not the way it should work ever. All right. You wait for evidence. All right. You wait for price to give you something. All right. Now, there is the possibility that price runs into this bearish fair value gap and we see a break in market structure to the downside. All right. That would leave this low to become the sell side liquidity target. And that would allow us to think of taking out these two lows here, here. All right. And, you know, if this low doesn't hold, if this fair value gap holds as a bearish fair value gap, then we can start to target those later afterwards. But I would only be interested in taking that those trades if I see this low taken. All right. So I gave you a couple of things to look out for. All right. And we're going to keep our eye. Let me get one. Let me get one. Boom. We're going to keep our eye. I didn't mean it to be that big on this fair value gap. All right. But I like what I'm seeing so far. What the this push higher, take out this high, pull back into the area of fair value, and give us a bullish reaction. So far, yeah, I'm looking for prices to go higher. We'll see. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the boost button, and make sure you watch the next videos that I put out today. The next one should be the pound USD. No, the Euro USD, then the pound USD will come right behind that. And I will see you in the very next video. May profits be upon you.